Warwick, thanks for joining me again, but for the first time as Aguia chairman. Now, before we delve into the company's exciting rare earth grades at Rio Grande, can you just start by outlining what attracted you to joining Aguia's board?
As you know, Alex, I'm always up for a challenge. I saw that Aguia needed a bit of oxygen breathed into it and a bit of creativity to get shareholders enthusiastic again. There's some very good assets that we can do something with. It's not as if it's just total exploration and blue sky. There's actually real projects there.
Thanks, Warwick. Now, as I mentioned, you recently reviewed historical results from a 2011 drill campaign of the Strata carbonatite, which has confirmed strong rare earth grades. What prompted the review of these results, and how will this shape the company's future plans?
That was one of the strong reasons why I decided to step up to the plate. You have phosphates, you have carbonatites, there's got to be rare earths there. It seemed to have gone through to the keeper recently. So the first thing I did was get the geologist to go back and look at historical results. Have you sampled for rare earths, and what were the results? And quickly they came back and said, yeah, it was about 2011, 2012. They did some drilling. They sampled a number of different ore types, and they've got some very good grades. So the question now is, you've got this carbonatite, you've got a phosphate deposit, much like Cummins Range in the Kimberley in Western Australia. They've got a huge phosphate ore body there, but it started out as a rare earths project. It's morphed into something much more industrial scales, but the rare earths will be an important part of the cash flow. So the inverse has happened in Brazil, where we've got an ore body already. It stacks up well on project economics and feasibility studies. But now that rare earths is becoming prominent, we need to look at that and see what extra upside that provides the project with.
So for those uninitiated, can you just explain the significance of Aguia's 6 carbonatites within the Rio Grande boundary?
We look at other examples in the marketplace. Companies are running around saying that they've got carbonatites, and immediately that creates interest in the share price. You've got one up in Western Australia where it's a carbonatite which has got some rare earths, but it's got niobium. And the share price of that stock went up about 10 times, made the company worth $250 million. And everyone's getting excited. It's the sort of project that's not going to be developed in a hurry, but that's what the market wants. Now, a point on Aguia's first carbonatite, they actually do have some good niobium grades, but we have to go and find out more information on it. Having 6 carbonatites is, 1 is great, 6 is 6 times great. So there's an awful lot of upside there. Each carbonatite will have a little bit of difference. We need to actually do the work on it, but there's certainly a very promising geological environment that could hold all sorts of riches. We just don't know yet. We have to do the work.
And finally, now the company has long held the belief that its Andrada copper assets have considerable upside. What's your view on the assets, and what are the next steps here?
You've got a number of different styles of copper. It's actually more of a province than just one little prospect. There's a study done on sub 0.5% copper, which shows it to be economic, and that's good. But from my point of view, you need a lot more tonnage to embark on something like that. What's more interesting to me are the high-grade intercepts of between 1 and 2% copper, where you've got skarns. The skarn ore bodies are proximal to the disseminated low-grade copper, and I think there's a lot more grade excite. It's actually a big area for the company to explore, especially at the moment. I think it's a sort of project which, if we brought in a major to come in and do the heavy lifting, especially on the low-grade material while we concentrate on the high-grade, that could be a viable path to go down. But what we're doing at the moment, like all companies, it's hard to raise money. Cash balances are low. We just have to be careful with what we've got. We need to institute a few more cost savings measures. We have to tighten our belt a little bit and be selective about where we spend money. If we bring in joint venture partners to help the heavy lifting, for example, the development of the phosphate project, it makes sense to bring in a much stronger balance sheet to help us there. But at the same time, we want to have the ability to be looking at new projects, new upside, if there are things that will help the share price and make our shareholders happy. So everything's on the table. We want to take back the initiative and get that share price moving.
Thanks, Warwick. Appreciate you joining me. All the best.
Yep. Thanks, Alex.